So we're starting.
Hello,
Hi, Gali.
hello.
I can see you on the, yes, I can see you on Instagram and I can see you also on the PC.
Amazing. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, everyone. Very nice
Ah,
to
I
have
see the
you.
request.
Perfect.
Nice.
There we go. Okay,
Okay.
very nice to have everyone on. Can you see us and hear us okay? We have a bit of a different setup on all fronts today.
Yes. Okay, Gali. Hey, here we go. Here we go. Yes, I can
There we
see
go.
you.
Sorry, I'm
I
setting
think
my.
you just need to raise a little bit your camera.
Okay,
You can't.
okay, perfect. All right, so hi everyone on YouTube mainly. Let's first of all see if you can see us and hear us okay. We have a bit of a different setup. How do you hear me and how do you hear Mayor? Just because we have a little bit of a different thing.
A big difference. I'm
Yeah.
using a laptop instead of my normal setup. And
Yes,
yes, we're having fun.
we
Hi,
are.
Kapil. Hi, Bridget. Hi, Teresa. Hi, so nice to see you. And Ashley. Yes. Okay, perfect.
All right.
Sounds good.
So sounds good. Excellent. So today we're talking about a subject that is very interesting for, I think, many people. It's a sensitive subject. It's a scary subject. It's a subject that people might even wonder, how can we be talking about this? This is like an area that most people don't even go into. And it's the subject of pregnancy gone wrong, infertility, miscarriage, pregnancy problems. I know many people, personal friends that have problems with all three. And I want to cover, the real reasons behind infertility and pregnancy struggles, hidden causes that, of course, not even the doctors know, how to improve it naturally, all kinds of things. Obviously, it takes a big emotional toll on people. So there's a lot to cover. I'm just giving a very big intro on what we're going to cover today. And let's start. The main question right now is, why do people have pregnancy problems? Some people do, some people don't. Is it just medical? Is it just physical? What's going on there?
So the basic principle that it's never medical. It's always mental and then medical. It's like when you have an accident, you see it as a broken car. But the reason is that the driver is messed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So nothing happened before you decided that it's going to happen. Now,
Mm-hmm.
how do you decide? It's quite amazing. You decide that something going to happen by trying to prevent it.
Okay. Okay. So what do you mean? Like if I'm trying to, I don't know, prevent the struggles that come with being pregnant, because of course it has hard elements to it.
No,
That's
there's
how it
not
happens.
hard element. There's pregnancy. It's of course it's beautiful,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
if you buy the story that of course there's hard elements to it, then you try to prevent it. And
Mm,
once you start to prevent something, you bring it into it. You bring it into
uh-huh.
yourself
Yeah.
because really resist. I have a very interesting definition for the word resist. You know the definition? My definition of the word resist is hold close in order to avoid. So you don't like that. So in order not to like it, you push it away. By pushing it away, you're holding close to you. If it
Mhm.
tries to run away from you, you go faster to continue to push it away.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I see.
So the thing that you bring about are the things that you don't that you try to prevent. Now this is really interesting. For example, did it ever happen to you or to anyone that listening? Anyone got sick with the disease that called dirma ofa?
I haven't. Dima
i
Offa,
can
no.
I can promise you no one did.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know why? Because no one resisted it.
Yeah, you don't know what it is, so there's nothing
Yeah.
to be afraid of, to resist.
How many people got sick in I don't know, cancer at 200 years ago or 400 years ago?
Yeah.
Promise you none. You
Mhm.
go and you check bodies of all of people from all civilizations. you don't find cancer.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You know,
But you do find diseases that they were fighting.
yes. Yes. True. True. I mean, it's even as simple as if you go to something like a mental disorder, how many people had ADD 80 years ago? It wasn't, there was no such thing. People just said the guy's stupid.
Or
Or,
actually, the people said that the guy is able.
hmm, oh yeah, or they
Yes,
said, yeah, that he's like, wow, yeah, he's able. There's something
is
to,
like he cannot sit still. He like
yeah,
you take a leader. If a leader is a person that cannot sit still,
yeah,
he
true.
needs to create more.
Yeah,
Now, you have all the useless people around that cannot experience so much motion. So instead of letting them being a leader, what they do, they're pushing them down to
yes,
their level or to their willingness to experience motion.
true. Yeah, so totally true. Totally. Okay, so you're saying that it always is mental, and
It's
there's,
always start with the mental condition and then it manifests physically.
yes. So, okay, and now, first of all, you know, you were saying that the people, it happens by resisting certain things, and that's actually what you bring about. So, does that mean you like, what does that mean in reality? Because most people do have all kinds of considerations around pregnancy. Like, for example, oh, it's going to be tough, or I'm, if it's a woman, it's going to change my body, or I'm at risk during this pregnancy. Things can happen to me. Uh, some women die during birth. There's all kinds of different ideas that come to mind that can affect women. So, is all those things just not true, or do you just ignore it, or what does that mean? How do you just not consider those things?
So the better you are mental, the better your mental condition,
Mhm.
the more motion you can experience. But let me actually put it from a different perspective. The goal should be that people will govern themselves, that the individual will govern himself. So a
Okay.
government is someone that define what's going to happen, and
Mhm.
it makes sure that it happens.
Yeah.
When you define, when you govern yourself, you actually make sure that what you want will happen.
Mhm.
When you let someone or something else govern you, things also happen, but not your way. You don't get your
Yes.
way.
Yeah, very true.
So, does it have pain? Yes. Is it dangerous? Yes, but only if you consider that it is, because the pain of one woman is not the same like the pain of another woman.
Mhm. Mhm.
You take
Yeah.
a lady that so Ima, for example, Aviva, my wife, had three kids, and you see that her mental condition, as it was improving, the birth become easier and easier and easier.
Mhm.
And the third child, Neo, we were not sure that he was born. Yeah,
Just slipped out.
it was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, but on that front, somebody will say, yeah, but every childbirth gets easier because it's your body's more prepped for it. It's like a known thing that childbirths get easier and easier and easier.
It's not that the body get prepped for it. You get prepped for it. When I start to do a bench press, I do 80 kilo, and it's extremely difficult. And I train, and then 80 become easy, 90 become difficult, and then I train, and 100 become difficult, and 90 become easy.
Mm, I
So
see.
I'm not resisting anymore. I don't have this consideration that it will be difficult. So what
Mm,
does it mean to go to the gym and train? Is just you convince yourself that you can. You
mhm.
stop resisting
Yeah.
80 kilo, you're resisting 100.
Yeah, I
I
see.
promise you, I did. I started to train. I was on this training in the last 4 weeks, and I moved from 80 kilo to 100 kilo.
Yeah,
So this
unbelievable.
is what is more than 20%.
20
Yes,
more than, yeah, 100%.
yeah, in 4 weeks. And
Yeah.
why I could do that? Because I closed myself that I can.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah, 100%. And also back to the pregnancy example, there are also women, of course, that on the second or third time it just more miserable and more challenging, and it
Yes.
doesn't always get easier. So there's for sure a mental element. So you're saying
Always,
that.
always, only mental. Your mental condition define if it's hard or difficult. Your mental condition define if you survive something or not. Your mental condition will define how much money you have. Your mental condition define when you die. Your mental condition define everything.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
yeah.
the physical universe try to convince you that it's only physical.
Hmm. Yes.
And if you try to fix the physical thing, you're going to lose.
Hmm. I
And if you're
see.
going to, and if you try to fix the mental thing, the physical universe will lose, and you will
Mm,
win.
I see. Wow, okay, that's amazing, and that totally makes sense. Now, okay, so many questions. First of all, the first thing that comes to mind is people though end up fixing the physical and they win. Like for example, they start taking either natural things or medication that helps them to fall pregnant, or they do IVF, which is intraveno fertilization or something like that.
Israeli Defense Force.
Israeli. IDF. That's so funny. They do the IVF to get basically pregnant, and then they fall pregnant. So it can happen by physical fixes as well.
Yeah, what's the physical fixes do? It works for as long as you believe that you're close, that it works.
Okay, somebody who's never heard you before say that's like, okay, that's a lot of like rah rah. Okay, I need to believe it. What does that mean? I need to just believe.
It's actually the more you convince yourself that something works, the more it works. Now, it's not because I'm saying it, and not because it's blah, blah, blah. The placebo effect. The
Hmm.
placebo effect basically says if you bite, it will work.
Hmm. Hmm.
And actually, you will see that the only different on how well a medication work is on how well the person mental condition is,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
means not medication. If it was only the medication, it was 100% success with everyone. You take this thing and everyone react exactly the same.
Hmm. I see.
Now,
Yeah.
the mental aspect is different.
Hmm.
It's the only thing that's actually different, that actually makes a difference.
I see. I see. That's so interesting. Okay. So that's on falling pregnant. Now, what about situations where you have fallen pregnant, but then you have a miscarriage? Or I'll give you a more extreme example. I know of somebody, a friend of a friend, who unfortunately the baby passed away at 32 weeks pregnant within the body. Random. Everything was fine a week ago at the doctor's check, and boom, the baby unfortunately passed away. So that's a late miscarriage. So why do miscarriages happen? Obviously, there's an element that you need the body to do what it's supposed to do, and sometimes it doesn't.
The body doesn't do what it's supposed to do if the boss, the person that run the body, the being that run the body, decide for one reason or another that it's better for this body not to survive.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And whatever happened to you, good or bad, you consider that it's helping you.
Do you consider that it's helping you to have a miscarriage?
Yeah, you consider that it helps you somehow. Yes, you
Mm,
or the being that actually, if it's late in the pregnancy, then it's the being that actually run the body, because you've got the body, you've got the mechanical thing, you've got the car, and you've got the driver.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
The driver is the boss. You can take two
Yes.
cars exactly the same factory. One car after 20 years looks new,
Mm-hmm.
function 100%.
Yeah.
And another car, after 20 minutes, is secondhand.
Yeah. True.
You take this car that survived 20 years, you give it to another person, and in less than 6 months, it all falls apart.
Hmm.
Or you take a bad car and you give it to someone else, and you see that just that person somehow make this car work and it survive forever.
Yeah. True. True. Yes. Wow. Very interesting. So, what did you say about the being later on in the pregnancy?
So at one point in the pregnancy, the body is thought to be run by a specific being. The
Hmm.
being that's supposed to run, the spirit that runs the body, takes over the body. And if this spirit get upset, get has a problem, or have something that turned on that tells it that this is not good, that being will make sure the body will not survive.
Wow. Okay. What can you do about that? What? So what? The mom just has
Handle
to
the
deal with
being,
that?
communicate with the being,
Okay.
handle the being,
Okay. So, but that's
handle the source of the being and of the problem. The problem is the being.
and how does a mom who's never learned what you are saying, how does a mom just talk to the being? What does that even
First
mean?
of all, first of all, if she doesn't know about it, it is like how does someone that live in the middle of Africa and never heard on antibiotic or building bridges or running water can help himself? It's tough.
Yeah.
You need knowledge. Knowledge helps you
Mhm.
to survive.
Yes.
If you don't
Yes.
have knowledge, you succumb to the physical universe. And the more knowledge you get, the more you get the physical universe to obey you. So you either obey the environment or the environment obey you. You either self-govern or something govern you.
Yes, I see that.
And the
Yeah.
idea of being self-governed is a major idea. It's all everything has to be in the direction of I'm going to be self-governed and my kids going to be self-governed.
Hmm.
If you just have this idea, you will behave differently to your kids because you'll have, okay, this is the purpose. This is what I'm trying to achieve. If you
Yes.
know that this is what you're trying to achieve in life, to be self-governed and not to be governed by your past, not to be governed by your fears, not to be governed by your friends or your family or anyone,
Mm.
all of a sudden you see that you become extremely sane. And what the
Yes.
sane person wants, he wants other people to be self-governed. And what an insane person wants, he wants to govern everyone else.
Hmm. Yeah,
And he
that's so
fails.
true. Yeah, that's so, so true. That's actually when people also push you down. They're trying to
Mhm,
govern everyone else. Very
mhm.
true. So at this point, people that are listening that maybe haven't heard you speak before are giving this a shot to hear what you have to say. Maybe it can help them. How do they? Who are you to be giving this advice? It's not medical advice. Are you a doctor? What is it? How do you know this stuff? Why should they listen to you? You're talking about things that are like mental and all this thing. So can you give a bit of background on why should somebody listen to you on such a topic that they've probably talked to a million doctors about already?
Because it works. What I say works. It has zero risk and 100% reward. So
Hmm.
try it.
Hmm.
Even if I'm no one, if it works, I'll take it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
like
what
very simple. If it
but what do you
works,
do? Yeah, you help people for sure, and it works.
yeah.
But what?
I've
Who
helped
are
many
you a little
people
bit?
with this. I helped a lot of people with a lot of problems, and it always work. Always.
Hmm.
The situation always improved tremendously. And it always, without exception, um, mental handling. After you handle the mental side, the physical side become obvious and it's easy and there's no problem to do it and whatever.
Mm, got it. Yeah.
So if you don't know it, I'm sorry for you.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like you should. It's
Yeah.
like
So somebody that wants to, I mean, look, the at the moment you're giving data that's so true, powerful, but you're opening a doorway of like, okay, I need to learn about what this guy is saying. How do they learn more? And then we'll go to a few questions that we have. But how do they learn more? What do they do next? They've heard this and they're saying, this guy sounds like he can help me. I've been trying to get pregnant for years. What do I do next?
um, so the next thing is obviously contact us. You can go to the website, contact us, tell us what's the problem, and we will jump onto a very short evaluation call, and we will suggest to you a handling and do the handling. And if you see that it start to work, continue. And if you see it doesn't work, then you will say goodbye. But it always works, so don't worry about the goodbye.
Yeah, it'll be a good high. Okay, I love it. And Jenna here on the Instagram, I'm looking here at Instagram. She said it works. Yes, 100%. She said, "Wow, love that." I'll go first to the Instagram questions, and then we'll jump over to some of the others, and then I'll ask more if we have time. So we have Steffi. Hi, Steffi. Steffi Longaria. That she said, "Hey, Mayor, your latest post about disconnecting slash cutting people off." Causing you to become an effect. So this is on a slightly different topic. It's a post that we posted today about don't cut people off. She said, at what point do you stop trying to connect and help someone when you are not getting through?
Actually, you don't stop because I have a very basic principle that says that if someone is my friend, it's not conditional.
Hmm.
So I don't give my friendship lightly. If I tell someone he's my friend, it's a lifetime's commitment. And
Hmm.
friends needs you when they are got totally cuckoo, when they don't want help, when they attack you, when they act like a wounded animal.
Hmm.
So if you have a wounded animal that attack you, and because it attacks you, you're not going to figure out a way to help it, it's not such a good thing.
Yeah.
It's even worse if that wounded animal is your friend. So
Hmm.
you need to learn how to help them because they need it. And this is if it's your friend. If it's a person that you don't know, I would still help and invite them to get help. And the basic idea is I want to be cause. I want I'm helping, but I'm helping not because they need help only, but it's because that my purpose in life is to help. I believe that the purpose of every being is to help. The reason we are here on earth is to help.
Hmm.
And if you don't do that, I have a loss, not they.
I see.
And when you find that you cannot help someone, it's not a problem. I don't have to help him right now, but I will help. And there are many, many, many ways to help. And people think, okay, but I tried to help him already for 6 months. 6 months compared to eternity, it's not a millisecond.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's
Right.
nothing. And the only reason people think that the other person don't change or don't want help or uh, don't actually improve is because they don't observe. There is no help that do not somehow improve the person. Never.
Interesting.
If your intention is to help, it already helped the other person. Now, can
Yeah.
you see the difference? That's the question.
Ah. Uh-huh.
Are you patient enough to actually let him move so you can see the difference?
Hmm.
But there is always a difference. And if you will look for the difference, you will find it.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Beautiful.
You will find it.
Wow.
And the more you know how to help, the more obvious the change is. The less you know how to help, the more you need to blame the other person and saying, he just doesn't want help.
Mhm.
I promise you, every wounded animal wants help and they attack you. So the
Yeah.
fact that someone attack you do not mean they don't want help. It's only mean that they attack you. That's all.
Mhm. Yeah.
Someone attacking you do not mean I don't want help. It just mean he attacked me.
Uh-huh. What a viewpoint. Yes. Wow. I love that. Yeah. And Jenna said, beautiful answer. And Steffi, who asked the question, said, I completely hear you. I totally believe in that too, that our purpose in life is to help. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah.
Bridget said, I had 3 miscarriages and 2 beautiful boys born. Amazing. That's beautiful. Yes. Curtis asked, does this also apply to SIDS? SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome. I don't know if you know about that, when a baby is alive but dies randomly.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
applies to everything. I said it applies to everything.
Hmm. So
There's
what
we
happens there
stimulate.
when a baby just dies? Oh yeah, you were gonna say. Go ahead.
So the babies die. So you look at the baby and you think baby is a kind of life form. Like there is amoebas, there is animals, there is fish, there is birds, and there's babies. No, baby is just another person. The
Yeah,
body
human
is
being.
small, but it's the same life form, like a
Hmm.
person, like it's a person. Yes.
Hmm.
Now, you will see when people die suddenly, that the only difference between babies and big body people is, other than the size of the body, is that babies are more honest.
Hmm.
So they don't have a lot of shows. Yes.
Yes.
So if you take an adult, you will see that an adult that get upset that something bad happened to him from his viewpoint, he will age in 20 minutes 20 years.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can see it. Like you hear bad news and you age in 20 minutes, like you can basically die.
Yeah.
And the same
Totally.
apply to babies, just that the reaction time is much faster because
Hmm.
they're much more honest. They have
Ah.
less fears. They
Yes.
use less social mechanism to delay the communication. They're more A
Mm.
to B.
Yeah. Fascinating. True.
Yeah. So if you really understand that, you'll see that parents that don't actually realize that the job of the parents is to make the baby self-governed, self-determined.
Hmm.
It is
Hmm.
a person that get upset, that get worried, that get afraid, that get happy, exactly like you and me.
Hmm.
And when the parents don't know that and they start to talk badly about the child next to them, for example, they say, "Oh, he cries so much, he kills me." Now the baby loves you, and he says, "No, I don't want to kill my parents. I will leave," and he died.
Mm. Mm. I see. Wow.
That's his
Wow.
solution.
Hmm.
I love them so much, and I feel that I owe them, and I don't want to kill my mom. I just don't want to kill her, so I will die. And for them,
Mm.
it's not a problem because there's not all this consideration connected to that because he just died and he came back. So he knows it's not a problem. He's not so
Hmm.
occluded that he cannot remember his past life.
Hmm. Yeah. I see. And also, they don't have as much to lose. Like you have in this life, all of a sudden you have so much to lose. Early on, it's like, okay.
Not a
So
problem.
that's an interesting point, actually. So for them,
It's
they're
easy.
less. Yeah, it's much easier. Wow. Amazing answer. Amazing. Wow. Okay. Next, Kapil said, so getting worried or anxious about something also falls under resisting that thing. And does these affect us in the same way?
100%.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
If you go to a game and you are worried about losing, are you going to win or lose? If you
Hmm.
go to a show and you are worried about the show, if you go to an exam and you are worried, you will lose, you will fail. But if you
Yeah.
go and you just 100% certain, I know it, there's nothing they can ask me, I don't know. Bring it on.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not a problem. You
Yeah.
go to your friend, you don't worry about it. But you go to meet a new girl and you're very worried because you are not close. But if you would be 100% close, yeah, she's just a girl. It's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a girl. Exactly like me and you. Nothing.
Yeah.
Different mechanics, but the installation is different, but the being
Yeah.
is the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. Amazing. Amazing. Wow. And Tressa said, wow. Arjun had a few questions. So, till what age can a woman get pregnant or a man produce sperm? For context, I'm around 40 years old and I'm now planning to get married. So that's the first question.
At any, it's like there's no problem with age. It's the only thing. Everything has to do with your condition. The reason that at certain age, 40, 45, a woman, a man start to have a problem with the babies or with getting pregnant is because there is so many bad things that the person did that he consider that it is not okay to bring another being into the world because he knows he left a very bad world.
Wow. Wow. Huh. Okay.
Otherwise, not a problem. Just go next to a sperm and you'll get pregnant.
Yeah, so people need to clean up their own sins and it will help with the creation of pregnancy.
Yeah, basically
Wow.
everything you do has to do with your viewpoint on life. If
Yes.
you consider life to be bad, you will create bad effect because you have to be right.
Yes.
So if you consider life to be bad, you will make sure that life is bad. If
I
you
see.
consider life is good, anything that happened, your wife can come to you like she came to Joseph and says, I'm pregnant and it's from God. And you say, yes, no problem. Half cup, full cup kind of guy, you know.
Yeah, yes, I saw that comedian. That's like, wow, what did the guys on the construction site
Yeah,
say when
yeah.
it's like, listen, my wife's pregnant, not from me though. It's from God.
He was like
Uh,
totally cool.
yeah, yeah, they're all like, oh yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. No, at the
yeah.
beginning, no, he was cool. They were
He
not.
was cool. They weren't. They're like,
Yeah.
your wife is pregnant.
Yeah.
It's not from you. It's from God. Yeah, that's
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
love it. So
imagine what Jesus' wife says after he came 3 days. 3 days? Sure.
yeah.
He can make after 2 or 3 days, yes?
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
yes, exactly.
Moses,
Uh,
40 days in the mountain?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Good story. You're gonna stick
Good
with it.
story,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. I love that. So at what point is there a look, medically, there's 100% explanation why women can't fall pregnant after, let's say, 40. Like the eggs run out. I know there's exceptions, so this is a good thing. I think the oldest woman to fall pregnant was like in her 70s. So obviously there's exceptions, but there's for sure like the body's a machine with certain medical things that are proven. If you run out of eggs, that's it. You can't fall pregnant anymore. So how is it just like, oh no, if you're in a
It's
good
just a
mental condition?
consideration because if the consideration is like that and there's a strong agreement that this is what happened, that's what happened.
I see.
It's like there's a strong agreement that you cannot easily break, that everyone died. Everyone died.
Hmm.
There's no exception. It's a strong agreement. It's just an
Yeah.
agreement. It didn't used to be like that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
It didn't
Interesting.
used to be like that. If you remember a little bit of past lives, you will see that the body used to be different.
Hmm.
They used to be different. They didn't need to eat. Eating is degrading.
Mm. Hmm.
And you use the bodies and you didn't consider that you die because the body broke.
Yeah. Wow.
Understand? You didn't consider that because my car is had an accident, I have an accident. No, it's my car. I didn't have an accident.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah.
the right now there's an agreement around it, and it's very real, very much like it was very real that there are gods in the Olympus, and very much like it was real that the earth is flat, not that it's not. Very much that Very much like there was a lot of things that was extremely unbreakable real.
Yeah.
7 planets.
Hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
an agreement.
Yeah.
It's just a
Hmm.
strong agreement. And if you will actually recover your ability to see what was in the past, which means if you could take responsibility for your past, you will realize that what we see right now is just a small thing of what actually possible. And it's just a viewpoint. It's just a viewpoint.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And I think it's important for people to understand this whole thing of it's just a viewpoint, to start breaking these very strong molds that people
Mhm.
have and ideas around it. So that's amazing. And Bridget said, I had my second son at age 42. Amazing, amazing. And Bridget also said, my spiritual and mental condition continuously improves with your teachings, Mayor. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tressa said, how recent is that change in viewpoint around bodies?
When did it happen? That's
Yeah, how
basically the
recent?
question.
Yeah.
Okay. So bodies up to about 500, 600,000 years ago were something that you used, and you had few. And generally, the viewpoint was that it's a very nice machine that I'm going to protect, but I'm going to use. They a little bit stinky, but look good, and they provide a specific sensation that are nice. And they're very good because you give them an action, you give them a task, and they can do it. So you can think about it as kind of robots that, unlike mechanical robots, they just not mechanical. Yes,
Mhm,
they work a little bit different.
mhm,
And on the track, in history, there were different kind of body that people use or that being used, and it's very real to people because when they think about aliens, the aliens is you. When they think about aliens, they have the idea that they have different kind of bodies. Where this idea come from? Because it was really you had different kind of bodies. So
mhm,
if you were on heavy gravity planet, you had a very big, heavy body. And if you were on a very light planet, you had a very light body. Like this is a light planet. And there were whole planets that were just the being were just thought being. They didn't actually had bodies.
mm,
And later on, they developed electronics. So you started to have electronics bodies. And so, since people are really, really, really limited at what they're willing to confront, what they're willing to look at, when they hear that, they say, somehow it makes sense, but I don't know if it's right. Why I don't know if it's right? It's not that that they say no, 100% not, or 100% yes. It's I don't know. I need the proof. All those things is just I'm not willing to confront. Every time you need the proof, it means that you are nothing, and the proof is everything.
mhm. Yeah,
So the
true.
moment that you actually willing to confront them, now why you're not willing to confront? Because the only person you don't want to be or you are not willing to be is the person that you used to be because you've done so many bad things.
Mm,
So you're not willing to be that. So what you do, you forget.
mhm. Yeah, I see. I
And
see.
you forget and you say it never happened.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah,
consider it very bad to remember.
I see. Interesting. Wow, that's really wow. And I think that you're right that people will say like they're not going to confront through saying, "Look, I need the proof." And but I also understand to some degree because people are used to proof. Like I know friends of mine that might hear you say that, and they might think, "Is there a study for that? How did he find that? Did he go on a nice drug trip and come up with these concepts about things 600,000 years ago? Where did he spit this stuff up from? Do I just trust what he says? You know what I'm
No,
saying?"
Yeah, no, that's why I said you don't need to. What you need to is to confront. It's not what
Hmm.
I say. You need to confront so you can recall what happened.
Hmm. Hmm.
Once you confront, you know what happened. You see,
Yeah.
if someone had something really bad for him, it happened to him, he loses memory totally. Yes,
Yeah.
like someone can get a mental shock and he doesn't remember even his name.
Yeah. True.
And this is a very light shock compared to the shock that the spirit went through life.
I see. Every time it
It
dies,
was,
yeah.
yeah, and dying is like nothing. I'm talking about shocks that are, the dying is just a heaven. It's like nothing.
I see. It's like a
Dying is
reset
a,
button.
huh?
It's like a
Yeah,
nice
it's a
reset
reset
button.
button. Yes, it's nothing. Restart Windows.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like
Yes.
nothing. I
Yes.
promise you, there is much worse than that.
Hmm.
Much
Hmm.
worse. Dying
Yeah.
is a very easy way out.
Hmm.
Imagine confronting killing a whole planet.
Hmm.
Imagine confronting killing a whole planet because you've been cheated and you didn't check your facts and you did something that was actually not so good.
Hmm. I see.
Imagine betraying someone that you really, 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 really love. And not a love like we have on this planet, because love on this planet is totally nonsense. Love on this planet is basically, okay, who am I going to own next?
Hmm. Hmm.
This is love on
Yeah.
this planet.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love is ownership, basically. If I love you, you're mine. How much I
Mm.
cost?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I see. I see. Got it. Amazing. 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 And Arjuna said, so relatives say that now I will find a woman above 30 years only. So we might get a problem having a baby due to me or due to my wife if she's above 30 or 35 years old. Would that be true?
No, no problem at all. If you're in good condition, if you want to have a baby at any age, I will highly suggest that you'll do the first of freedom, clean up your hands, and then make sure that you handle any, and it will sound crazy, but I promise you it's true. I will make sure that you totally clear any hidden reasons or any insane reasons why you think it is okay to not have a baby, why you think it is okay to have problems with getting pregnant, why it is okay to have a problem with the baby, why it's okay to have a problem with the pregnancy. All those consideration has to be handled beforehand, and you can be 402 and no problem. And if you look at the stories from the Bible, you'll see that people that had babies at the age of 100,
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Wow. I
no
didn't know that.
problem.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. And so Arjuna said, thank you, Gal, for asking the question. And thanks a lot, Mayor, for the
of
wonderful
course.
answer.
Yeah.
And
So the problem is really not the age. The problem
mhm,
is what you uh, consider that you are not willing to confront. And
mhm,
every single bad things that happen to a person, he
mhm.
actually consider that it helps him. Nothing happened to you if you don't consider that it helped you. You lost a hand, you somehow consider it helps you. And you think, no, it's impossible. Promise you, have a look, you will see.
Wow. Wow.
I'll give you a story. I think you know the story. In one of the seminars, I think you've been at that seminar, where I have one of my friends, and he had this thing. How does it called? The shingle thing
Hemorrhoids.
in hemorrhoids. Yes, he had
Yeah.
the hemorrhoids. Yes, so it's
Yes.
apparently very painful, extremely painful. And
Yeah.
I see he's in the seminar and he cannot sit. And I ask him what's happening, and he says, "I have this hemorrhoids." And I say, "Whoa, where?" So he said, at the entrance there. So I told him, for as long as you call it an entrance, it will continue to be painful. No, but
Ah,
the actual story, that was just a joke. But
yeah, yeah.
the actual story. So I told him, but you have some consideration that help you. And he tell me, are you crazy? What? How does it help me? It's painful. I want to kill myself. I said, it helps you. And he continues to say no, and I said yes, and he said no, and I said yes, and I said, okay, fine, let's do a process, and I'll show you that you can find it out. He said, I will do it with you because I like you and I appreciate you, but I know it's nonsense. I mean, I'm an educated person.
Hmm.
I said, I know, that's your problem. So,
Hmm.
so
Exactly.
anyway, we sit together, and I'm running him on a certain process, and what he found is something quite amazing. He found that his brother who died, now his brother that died was everything for him. He taught him everything. He taught him how music. He taught him how to be with girls. He taught him everything. He was like God for him. He really,
Hmm.
really, really, really loved his brother. And
Yeah.
his brother died, and it was devastating for him. And he realized during this process that, and he didn't remember it at all, that his brother had hemorrhoids.
Mm.
And that's the only thing that he kept from his brother. And he realized that it started immediately when his brother died. And the next day it's gone and it never came back.
Wow. Wow.
And I know
Wow.
this guy very well, and you know him as well too.
I know.
And
Yeah. It's always amazing, that story. It's amazing.
yeah, and up to now, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years now,
Hmm.
never came back.
Hmm.
It
It's
took
amazing.
45 minutes to find it, and it was in
Wow.
the class. There was lots of people
Yeah.
around. So I'm not just saying a story because people were
Yeah.
there. I think like 50, 60, 70 people that actually saw it in their own eyes.
Yeah. This thing of that your condition helps you somehow is amazing and very relevant to this topic about having problems with pregnancy. Many people I've spoken to that have pregnancy issues, for sure, have ideas and reasons and concerns and worries around
Yeah,
pregnancy. And so
yeah,
falling pregnant is dangerous, not good, problematic. So they have all kinds of ideas on how it helps him,
yeah,
how it helps them to not be
yeah.
pregnant or have issues with it. Yeah. Ashley said, I saw it. Ashley was there and saw
You
it. By
know,
the way, yeah, go on.
you know that
Yeah.
Galit, my sister, Galit, yes, she
Yeah.
had the problem with getting pregnant, yes.
Yes.
And for years, they've tried everything, and they decided, okay, we're not continuing with this uh, effort because it was really bad, all the hormones and da. And they totally dropped it. They adopted a son, which is, by the way, amazing.
Hmm.
They adopted the son and totally dropped it. And they came to South Africa, different environment, totally change of viewpoint. And we've been talking a lot and giving them a lot of help mentally without even them knowing, not like officially even. And by the end of the trip in South Africa, she got pregnant. Normally, just a normal old fashioned way.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. And then there were two more kids. So
Yeah, and
that
after
came
that, it
about
was
naturally.
two
And
more
then it was
after
no
that
problem.
because now it's not a problem. Okay, we remove the consideration, and now it's not
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. So it was one more. So two kids total, one more after. There are three
Yeah,
with my
yeah,
adopted cousin. That's amazing. Just beyond
yeah,
amazing. It's
yeah.
yeah, I love that. That's incredible. It's exactly that. I had a friend also that also months of trying, all kinds of issues, all kinds of things, and they work in the music events industry. And so, they usually go out and party and this and that, but they were being very careful and never drinking and really doing everything they can. And after months of trying, they said, whatever, whatever. And so they went out to a huge party, drunk, the two of them drunk, completely, just whatever, let it all go. That night they fell pregnant.
Mm,
And that was it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
It's just amazing.
it. So the answer:
Yeah,
get drunk.
exactly. Just get drunk.
But
Yeah.
it's really it's a change of
Yeah.
viewpoint. It's like you
Yeah.
stop resisting.
Hmm.
And in
Yeah.
that specific case, you stop resisting through drinking and you drop the
Yeah.
responsibility. It's fine.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh,
But
it's not a problem. We hope
you
it's
don't
we
have to
know
do
who
it
is the
through
father.
drinking. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Do they remember everything? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But
But the
that's
idea
amazing.
is the same idea.
Yeah.
Change of viewpoint, change the results.
Yeah, true, true. We have here Sense of Soul podcast that we were on. Shana said,
Ah,
"Hey, two of the wisest men I've ever met." Thank you,
oh
Shana.
wow!
That's
Thank
very
you,
nice.
thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
good to see you on here. Wow.
It takes one to know one. You know that?
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah.
And Kapil said, "Mayor, the soul doctor." Yes, and Curtis said, "Definitely always works." Jenna said, "It works." Amazing. Yes. So I know that we're running out of time, but I have a couple more questions that I think are important to get to. So just really quick. When a miscarriage happens, or something along those lines, or just not being able to fall pregnant happens, it's very there's an emotional and a physical toll. It's very tough
Now we
mentally. Like
lost
it doesn't.
Instagram.
Oh, okay, fine. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll
It's
leave
fine.
there. Okay,
Yeah, it's fine.
so there's an emotional and physical toll to these losses. It's not like it makes it easier to be in a good mental state every time you have a miscarriage or every time it doesn't work, falling pregnant, and there's another pregnancy test that shows negative. What can somebody do to stay out and not get too deep into the suffering and mental hardships that comes with these things happening again and again and again?
Um, so there's quite a few things, but generally the basic, most important thing is knowledge.
Mm, okay.
Knowledge will actually allow you to get out of any hole you get yourself in. And I can give you a few basic ideas. The first basic idea that you have to get into is that in order to survive in this universe, you have to be willing to win and lose with the same level of enthusiasm.
Okay, explain that for somebody that never heard that.
Yes. So if you go in this universe and you're going to play a game that's called the physical universe game, and you are not willing to lose,
Hmm.
then you're not trying to win. You're trying not to lose. You're not trying to live. You're trying not to die,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
is totally fact. The
Yes.
only way for you to win and actually enjoy the game is if you really enjoy the game. You have
Hmm.
to do it for the love of the game, not for the love of winning.
Mm.
Because for the
Yes.
love of winning, meaning you don't want the other person to enjoy the game.
Yeah. Right.
You
Yeah.
actually don't want them to enjoy the game.
Hmm.
So the only way to succeed in this universe is you have to have this viewpoint that I can take anything, winning, losing, whatever. It's just a game. Nothing is serious. You want me to die? Not a problem. You want me to live? Not a problem. I made money? Not a problem. I lost money? Easy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Why? Because I know I'm powerful.
Right.
Nothing can happen to me. I'm a spirit.
Hmm.
Things can happen to my possessions. And when I'm stupid enough to think that I am my possession, so if I lost a laptop, then my whole life died. No, every laptop, the end of every laptop is that it get lost or broken or something.
Yeah.
So whatever. But I
Right.
just bought it. So what? Are you so weak that you cannot buy another five?
Hmm.
Don't
Yeah.
start to cry. Instead of crying, become bigger so you can buy another 50, not one.
Yeah. 100%. Even with I obviously fly the drone a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, "Aren't you worried?" I've sent it up in the craziest place in the middle of the ocean on a little kayak, like all kinds of crazy things. And people are like, "Aren't you worried about losing it?" And I'm like, "Look, when I got it, the minute I got it, my vision for it, the end of this drone will be it crashed into something, it got lost in the ocean, it's
Recycle.
something happened. Yeah, something will happen with it. I'm gonna use it and enjoy it until then, and I don't mind if it does because I got it knowing that that's a very likely circumstance. And I've had drones for like I think 6, 7 years now, and I've never lost one. Just because it's okay either way. Same thing. You and I never have a case on our phone, and nothing
Yeah,
ever happens to our phones
yeah,
ever
yeah,
because
nothing.
this is fine. Because I know that if it cracks, whatever, I'll fix it. Like
Correct.
it's
So
really
what?
yeah,
How big is it to buy a new phone or to fix
yeah,
the glass or whatever? It's nothing.
yeah. So
It's
that's
glass. It's like it's a
yeah.
phone. It's a dead thing.
Yeah, it's like, but people worry about it, and all kinds of stuff happens. So it's really that viewpoint, but for business, life, pregnancy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's really interesting. Yeah, that's a very good point. I like that a lot. So and then my final question here. And first of all, I'll read a couple of the comments. Kapil, wow, Mayor's knowledge is mind blowing. Yes, it is. And
Thank
Kapil
you.
said, both of you are totally amazing. Thank you. This is the
Thank
only
you.
podcast which I don't miss, even if it starts at 3:30 a.m. Indian time. Wow,
Oh
Kapil.
wow.
Wow,
Thank
wow.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. Ashley said, or a lot of children are born with disabilities and have health issues.
Yeah,
And I don't know, yeah,
because
exactly at what
there's
point that was. But yeah.
because there's an actual push to convince people that things are dangerous. So the
Mm,
more you think things are dangerous, the more they will become dangerous. The more you try to fight crime, the more crime you will have.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
intensifying what you're trying to prevent.
yeah,
It is
yeah,
if you try to become successful, I promise you, you're going to fail.
right. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, let me
Because
ask you.
every time you
Yeah,
try to be successful, you basically say, on the other hand, I'm a failure.
yeah. So that's so true. That's also another one of those concepts that is so hard
Yeah.
for people to chew on. But I have to ask you a quick question that came to mind now, by the way. You always don't worry about like any of the consequences that can like happen or the potential danger or anything. And I remember that when I was like 7 years old, you would take me on the back of your motorcycle on these like narrow, winding roads, going literally like 140 miles an hour. Like it was like 230 kilometers an hour we got to something nuts, like. And at the time, I didn't know any better, so I was like, "Whoa, this is great." Now I think to
No,
myself
no,
now
it's not
that
great. You said go faster.
yeah, go faster. I loved it. I loved it. But of course, I totally trusted you and I didn't think that anything could happen. But now, as an adult, if I think to take my kid or even a friend or anything, or even myself on those roads at that speed, I'm like, that's really risky. Like, how did mom let you even take me like that? And how did you just feel like, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to take my 7-year-old 140 miles an hour on a narrow, winding road. And like, yeah,
And
how?
hold him with one hand on at the back.
Yeah, yeah, and it was like, bro, like crazy. Like, how were you like comfortable with doing that?
Because I knew that it's okay and nothing can happen when you're willing for anything to happen.
Mm. And what if something happened?
It
And
won't.
obviously, yeah, I see. Yeah,
It won't.
interesting.
That's the whole point. It's like nothing will happen because even if it happened, nothing will happen.
Mm, wow, that's
Nothing will happen if you are willing for anything to happen.
hmm amazing, amazing. Wow, wow, yeah. Okay, final, really final. What are steps that somebody can take today to increase their chances of a healthy pregnancy, to improve fertility,
Make a
to
list. Make a list of anything that you're worried about. Anything that you heard that is bad. Anything that you heard that is good. Just make a list and make the list longer and longer and longer and longer until you will have a realization. And the realization can be after two things that you write, and it can be after 200. Don't stop until you have a realization, something that changed your life. Wow. Just
Mhm.
make a list of things that you heard that bad about pregnancy or fertility or whatever the subject you're doing. Just make a list. Make a list without anything, without any thinking. Just make a list.
Mhm.
I heard that, and I heard that, and I heard that, and I heard that, and all of a sudden, oh, well, one second, it's not me. I heard that. So why am I thinking like that? Whether that's an example, yes,
Yeah, something will happen.
something
Yeah.
will happen.
Wow.
Okay, I
I
have to go. I have a
okay.
coaching session.
This was amazing. Thank you. Thank you for everyone
Love
that was
you.
on. That was wow.
Thank you. Mwah.
Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye,
Mwah. I love you. Bye.
bye,
Bye, everyone.
bye.